Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome again with one more video lecture for class 6th. In the previous lecture, I have discussed about what is habitat and what is adaptations. In this lecture, we will study how organisms adapt to their habitat. There are some changes which occurs in the organism, and these changes are of different in different organisms. Let us discuss one by one. First, that are structural changes. Some organisms bring some changes in their body, whether that organism is a plant body or animal body. There is a change in their body to survive in a habitat. These changes are called modifications. These changes are called modifications. Modifications are the changes which are taking place in an organism so that they can survive in an habitat. These are called modifications, or we can say these modifications are the structural changes. Second is behavioral change. Some organisms change their behavior to survive in a particular habitat. Some organisms they change their behavior to survive in a particular habitat. This helps them to protect themselves from extreme climatic conditions. These behavioral changes which takes place inside an organism, these changes takes place inside an organism, and these protect them. The changes protect themselves from extreme climatic conditions. Third is the change in location. Sometimes there are drastic conditions, or we can say there are adverse conditions, and nothing helps them. Some animals and some birds, they change their place of living. They move from one place to the another place due to those adverse conditions, due to those extreme environmental conditions, uh, due to those adverse environmental conditions. They move from one place to another place temporarily. This is called migration. These are the changes which takes place inside an organism so that they adapted themselves in a particular habitat. Okay, dear students, what is aquatic habitat? All water bodies constitute aquatic habitat. All water bodies constitute aquatic habitat, such as streams, ponds, rivers, seas, and oceans constitute the aquatic habitat. Aquatic habitat is something that is related to water. Aquatic habitat is something that is related to water. As its name itself describes it, aquatic means water. In an aquatic habitat, we find animals as well as plants. Both plants and animals are found in the aquatic habitat. So we can say both animals are aquatic and both plants are aquatic. There are two types of water bodies on earth. First, freshwater bodies, and second, salt water bodies. All those animals, or we can say birds, they adapted themselves in those conditions, or we can say in those habitats. Adaptations for aquatic habitat. How animals adapted themselves, for aquatic habitat. Animals living in aquatic habitat show some adaptations. Which makes it easy for them to stay afloat. When they show some adaptations, when these aquatic animals show some adaptations, it makes easy for them to stay afloat. This is the structure of the duck. Duck has webbed feet. Which helps it in swimming. These webbed feet which are present in the duck helps it in swimming. It has a flat beak. This duck has a flat beak. Duck has a flat beak to pick up animals under the water to eat. This flat beak helps the duck to pick up animals under the water to eat. One more characteristic or one more adaptations in the duck is duck has bones with air columns. The bones which are present in the duck has air columns in them, which makes it light in weight. Due to those air columns, the weight of the duck is light and it can stay afloat. Feathers, those feathers which are present in the duck are oily. These feathers are oily, and these feathers are oily to keep water away. The feathers which are present in the duck are oily and they keep the water away. Most of the aquatic birds have above mentioned modifications in their bodies to live in water. As I have discussed, duck have webbed feet, duck has a flat beak, duck has bones with air columns, and feathers that are in the duck, they are oily and these feathers keep water away. These are the features they are present in the aquatic birds, so they live in water. Dear students, the fish living in water shows the following adaptations. Fish has streamlined body. That streamlined body makes it easy to swim under current of water. The streamlined body which makes it easy for the fish to swim under currents of water. Fish has scales. These are the scales that are present on the body of fish. These scales on its body which do not allow water to stay on its body. This is second adaptation of the fish. Third, fishes do not have eyelids. Instead, they have a thin eye membrane. They do not have eyelids. They have a thin eye membrane to protect their eyes from water causing damage. They do not have eyelids. They have an eye membrane. That eye membrane protects the fish's eyes from the water. One more adaptation in the fish is fish have a special breathing organs. These special breathing organs are called gills. Gills are the special breathing organs in fish. These gills absorb the oxygen which are in the dissolved form in water. The fish take in water from the mouth. And gills absorb oxygen, and that oxygen that is present in the dissolved form in that water. Dear students, but you have to remember that there are some large fishes such as dolphins, such as whales. Students, if in large fishes like whales and dolphins do not have gills to breathe, they have lungs. Then how they breathe oxygen? As lungs cannot absorb oxygen dissolved in water, they live in water. They are aquatic. They live in water. As lungs cannot absorb oxygen dissolved in water, so these fishes come to the surface of the water to take in oxygen present in the air. Okay, you have to remember that they come to the surface of the water. These dolphins, these whales, they come to the surface of the water and to take in oxygen present in the air. They have lungs. They do not have gills. If gills are present in them, then they can use the oxygen that is present in the dissolved form in water, but they have not gills present in them. They have lungs, so they come to the surface of the water to take in oxygen, that oxygen which is present in the air. Frogs. This is also an aquatic animal. We call this, Frog is a kind of animal which can live on both types of habitats. It passes a part of its life in water and the other part on the land. So we can call it an amphibian. This frog that is an amphibian. It passes its life, half of part of its life in water and half and other part of its life on land. To live in water, it has gills. To live in water, the frog has gills present in them for respiration. When it becomes adult, it develops lungs to breathe in air. To breathe in air, it has also four limbs in place of fins. The fins that are absent in them, it has four limbs. The frog has four limbs. The frog has four limbs present. These limbs help in swimming when it is present in the water and also in moving on the land. Dear students, four a frog has long hind limbs which help it in jumping on the ground. Its webbed feet helps it in swimming in water. The frog lay eggs in water. The sticky tongue of the frog helps in catching its prey. These are the adaptations which are in the frog. Fishes, they have a streamlined body, enables it to easily move in water. Fishes have gills through which they take in oxygen from water.